Y ya estamos. En directo. ¡Hemos vuelto! Creo que se me escucha bien al menos. Si lo escucha ella, sí, pero esto funciona como debería funcionar. Porque hace mucho,
Vale, bien.
mucho
Muchísimo.
que no venimos por aquí. Hemos tomado todo septiembre casi de descanso. ¿Septiembre? Esperen.
Sí.
Estamos en octubre. No me da la cabeza para pensar. Vamos muy bien para un programa. Vaya, vaya. ¡Ah, Ana, hola! Bueno, como veis, Ana no está por una vez. La hemos dejado descansar también hoy.
Me
Sí,
hacía
parece que estamos.
falta también.
Sí, Ana necesita un descanso. Ana trabajó mucho,
Claro.
fue una de las codirectoras de la Open Science y curró como nadie. Bueno, como Andrea, también estaba con ella. Y ahora. ¿Eh? Nos pensando. No, eso quería decir no hay, no hay el autocorrector. Ah, sí. Nosotros también queremos. La última misión fue el 22 de septiembre, casi hace un mes que no estamos aquí. Nos lo hemos tomado con calma después de la Open Science, nos hacía falta descansar mucho a todos y además empezamos el curso. Bueno, vosotros aún encima os los atrasaron porque realmente teníais que empezar antes de la Open Science. Pero empezaste
Claro.
después. Y ahora que lo pienso, no
Sí.
nos hemos presentado. Así que
Ya,
preséntese.
eso es muy bueno.
Preséntese,
Bueno.
joven.
Hola, soy Nina. Tengo 16 años y hoy voy a presentar junto con Noah este chat.
Yeah. Ya, hasta ahí.
Nada más que decir.
This is Nina. Es verdad, Ana, es el 20 de septiembre. Estamos las dos un poco mal. Dijo que la última que tuvimos fue el 22. Realmente sí, fue el 20, que fue el último día de la Open Science. 20. 20.
Pues
Sí, ya me entendí.
20.
Bueno, y aquí
Sí.
estoy yo. Si habéis visto otros programas, me habéis también visto bastante la cara. No tanto como Ana, pero también me habéis visto bastante la cara. Sobre todo en la Open Science, porque era uno de los que presentaba también durante todo el día. Soy Noah, 19 años, estudio animación y videojuegos en la Universidad de La Coruña. ¿Verdad? Los gustos, me gusta comer y dormir. Y tener mi habitación hecha un asco, pero que después no se note en el directo, porque solo veis 3 cojines apilados. Y mis cascos. Debería quitar los cascos después. Y... Vamos muy bien. A ver, datos para comentar. Hoy, un poco antes de empezar un programa algo distinto a lo que tenemos habitualmente. También una de las razones por las que Ana no está aquí con nosotros. Here we are. La viñas. Bueno, Nina, has cambiado de instituto y ya no estás en el David Wuhan. Te has ido a un bachillerato de
Sí,
artes. ¿Qué tal vas?
abandoné al David Luján,
¿Qué,
tristemente. Bueno,
qué
pues un
feo?
cambio bastante grande de ciencias a artes, pero estoy muy contenta.
¿Estás contenta? Pues me alegro
Sí,
mucho.
estoy
Sí, que el gusto
Gracias.
del arte. Hay que...
Sí.
Se puede... De
Muy
persona que
triste
también pasó.
dejar el Luján, pero bueno.
Pero bueno, aún sigues con nosotros, lo que es bastante impresionante, porque... Claro, ¿quién diría que una persona que se fue a arte, se fue al instituto, pues aún seguía trabajando aquí?
Sí.
No, la gente normalmente no lo haría. No lo haría, sobre todo pasarían de nosotros. Open Science, a ver, comenta Viñas. Open Science Chat 21, primer programa de Open Science Camp 2021. Ah, mira, ya empezamos, ya, para el siguiente año, ya estamos listos.
Sí, 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 sí.
Ahí, todo pensado. Aquí,
Sí, la
OSC
verdad es que sí.
21. Y ya no tenemos el chiste del 20 al Open Science 2020, que cuadra el día 20. Qué
Claro.
feo. Que bueno, fue un año.
Todo está pensado.
Sí, estaba todo pensado. Estaba todo
Sí, sí,
maravillosamente pensado y después, bueno, el COVID hizo lo que hizo para que cambiase todo y
sí.
fuese distinto. Pero eso salió bien, todo very nice, lo pasamos bien, en el que trabajamos y todo.
Mm.
Eh, Ay, preguntado Fenris ya ha llegado aquí. Ese suspiro debería haberlo dejado en otro lado, pero sí. Entonces preguntas, ¿me vais a hacer hablar en inglés hoy? Pues sí, sí. Hoy nuestro programa
Sí,
va a ser en inglés, así que por eso también
es lo que toca.
teníamos límite de
Sí.
presentadores para que hablen en inglés. Así que aquí estamos, como bueno, yo la última vez también estuve en el último programa que se hizo en inglés, pero estaba con mi hermano mayor y era él el que dirigía todo, pero esta vez
Claro.
me toca a mí currarlo.
Sí.
Joder, el chat nunca se había movido tanto. Espera, dejadme leer. Am, Ana comenta tranquilas, encontraremos algo nuevo. A ver si el nombre para que quede bien. Y le comenta a Topher Smith, no podrás meterte conmigo hoy. La última vez que Ana no estaba, las pagó conmigo. Nina, te toca hoy a ti. Buena suerte. Confiamos en ti.
Vaya.
Usted puede. Bueno, pues es... Voy a ir presentando a la persona que viene con nosotros hoy y voy a ir llamando y vais a ver todo el proceso de cómo se llama una persona en Discord. Porque,
Bien.
claro, estáis viendo mi pantalla realmente. Por eso se me ve a mí tan bien. Y tan fluido, aunque internet no vaya tan bien. Bueno, pues hoy con nosotros vamos a tener a Saba. Es una integrante de la California Academy of Science. Son increíblemente pro y posiblemente sea increíblemente pro. Eh, y ella es parte de marketing, del grupo de marketing de la Academy of Science. Así que va a ser un programa muy interesante, la verdad. Llevamos mucho tiempo queriendo presentaros este programa para que lo admiraseis, lo vieseis, si estuvieseis con nosotros a lo largo de todo esto. Podéis, ya sabéis, en el chat
Bien.
preguntar. Pues espérate, cortar. Adelante.
Nada, nada, nada. Estaba diciendo disfrutar de él,
Sí, eso, disfrutarlo.
de lo que nos puede contarse.
Preguntar lo que sea en el chat. Ya sabéis, estoy aquí, como siempre, que estoy presente leyéndolo. Solo que esta vez está yendo mucho más rápido que normalmente. Y como la cámara, no sé si habéis dado cuenta, la tengo además en un lado distinto que habitualmente. Normalmente la tengo allí y así tengo para leer el chat, pero hoy la tengo en otro lado porque mi ordenador dijo, ¡ajá! Tu cámara, ¿qué es eso? No existe y yo tengo que coger una webcam distinta. Porque los
Cosas
problemas
del
técnicos
directo.
me quieren. A ver, ¿qué más habéis comentado por aquí? Ana, estoy yo escribiendo en lugar de hablando, por eso hay mucho comentario. Muy bien, Ana, tú sigas y deja que se mueva, así la gente se anima. No me callo ni desde fuera. Te queremos igualmente. Aún así. Ah, Entonces me dijo que creía que este año ya no lo tendríamos. Supongo que a Ana y Ana diciendo, creíste mal. Ana seguirá estando fuerte y seguirá con nosotros. Hoy no, pero
Hoy no,
seguiremos. Seguiremos. Así que bueno, voy a llamar a nuestra invitada. Esperemos que solo todo salga bien y bueno, ya me veréis ahí montándolo todo. Um, a ver, espera. Tirari. Tirari. Esperemos que todo salga bien. Hello? Hi! Hi there! Well,
You are
now
Noah
I'm Noah. This is Nina.
and Nina.
Yeah.
hello.
Hello
Nice to
there.
meet you. I'm Saba.
Nice, very nice, very nice to meet you. Finally, we're
Yeah.
here.
Thank you. I know we've been waiting a long time. And thank you for having me on. I'm really happy to be here and to represent the Science Action Club.
Nice. So, oh wait, I lost my questions. They're here. I'm having a lot of problems with everything. My camera today decided to not work, so I'm like, hey.
Always when you need it, technology, right?
Technology doesn't like me at all. At all. So, well, we're starting with the questions. We're jumping right into it. Nina,
Yeah.
you start.
Okay. First question. What did you study at college?
College.
One more time.
What did you study at college?
Oh, what did I
College,
study?
I
Oh, that's question. So I actually studied English. So my major was English, and I was focusing on English literature. And I also studied journalism and creative writing on the side. And so my area of study was really focused on writing, literature, analyzing all of that stuff. And then I had a lot of interest when I was in college, so I kind of dabbled in a lot of different subjects to kind of see where I landed. And then once I graduated, I felt this pull towards teaching and towards education. Um, so for a while, I was thinking like maybe I'll actually go and get my teaching credentials and become a teacher. But there was also something I liked about just working in the education field. And I thought, well, maybe the skills that I have, kind of in my journalism degree, I learned a lot about marketing. So when I was kind of after I graduated, I was like, well, how can I bring these two different things that I've studied, my passion for education and for just seeing like a change in how we approach education, especially in the United States, and the skill set that I have of marketing, and instead of marketing like things and products, I wanted to be a part of something bigger than that. So that's kind of what led me into education. And then after working in private schools for a little while, I found myself at the California Academy of Sciences working for Science Action Club. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is that a
me-
bird?
Like,
Oh my
like
god,
my
that is so
bird.
cute. Oh my
It does not
god.
get more embarrassing.
Oh my god.
What's the
I'm
name?
gonna. His name is Chotu, and I am so embarrassed right now that he is
Oh,
just
that's so cute.
crashing.
Oh, so cute.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No worries at all. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, studying in college is so different, like in America, or in the United States, like from here. I'm studying also, I'm in university, I'm 19, and I'm studying video games and animation, and it's like so different. Like, we have,
Oh, yeah.
my brother's in the US too, he's studying biology and, education,
Cool.
too. He's going to become a teacher, so, like,
That's awesome.
similar.
Teachers are just my favorite. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's super interesting the things that you study in college. Sometimes you think there's a very clear path, like if you study this, you'll go in like that direction. But honestly, we all make our own paths, and we like ideally we can all find ways to combine like what we're learning and what we're getting professionally trained to do, and also like what we're really interested in and what our passion is.
Yeah, it's like, it's life, it happens, and you can be in another different place of what you were studying, but still like it and still enjoy it. And you're like, woo, having fun. Okay, next question. Well, we're wondering a little bit because, well, the person that knows best about the California Academy of Science in here is Viñas. Well, he's the one that contacted us with you guys. But we don't really know what you do there. What does the California Academy of Science do? So can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So the California Academy of Sciences is just everything you could want in one building. So it is an aquarium, it's a planetarium, it's a rainforest, and a natural history museum, all in like one big building in San Francisco, in a beautiful park in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. It has been around for 167 years. It's been around for a really long time. So it's definitely a part of California and California history. And the mission of the academy is to sustain, to basically both gather information and like gather science and gather information, be a source of knowledge, and also to educate people too. And something that's really great about the academy is that you don't have to necessarily come to the academy to gain benefit from all of the knowledge that it has. And the California Academy of Sciences has so many programs to help educate people about science and science in whatever format that is, like whether that's natural history or aquarium. We offer so many resources online. so that even if you can't, physically travel to California, and if you ever do, you have to come here.
I
right?
won't.
There's nothing like, there's
Okay.
nothing in the building itself. But even if you can't, we have so many initiatives to kind of take all of this, all of the great knowledge that we have in the academy and just spread it. And one of the ways in which we do that, one of the many, 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 many ways in which we do that is the Science Action Club, which was born from the academy having all of these resources and then seeing that there is a gap in the middle school age group. And middle school here is about 6th grade to 8th grade, which is right around maybe I feel like 10, 11, 10 or 11-year-olds to like 12, 13, like right around that age group. And we noticed that there's a need for STEM education, for hands-on STEM education. And one of the things that kind of led us to that was looking at research that was showing that middle school age group is actually right around the time where kids, youth go from thinking that, maybe science is something I'm good at. Maybe I could do it, right? Like I could be a scientist. To all of a sudden, if you ask them in high school, they'll be like, well, I'm not good at that anymore. So there's something that happens in that middle school age group where they're like, they kind of lose their confidence. And I'm sure we've all seen this ourselves in some way. I used to work in a middle school, and I heard all the time. I heard students saying, I'm just not good at that. And I would say, but you're 12, like. How could you be good at it? Like,
how do you know?
Until you learn it.
Yeah.
And so the Science Action Club comes in and just kind of tries to break that cycle of, you know what, you don't call yourself a scientist. You don't have to say, oh, I'm a professional scientist, to care about science, and to contribute to, this global, all of these problems that we're having, with climate change, and people just not caring enough about the planet, right? We need everyone to be invested. And if everyone's thinking, well, I have to be a professionally trained scientist in order to, change the planet, in order to fix the planet, like, well, we're not going to get very far, right? Because there's only so many of those professional scientists. So I think I kind of went on a tangent because I'm so passionate about, Science Action Club specifically targeting that age group, but I can go more into detail in any of those subjects if you like.
Well, we'll be asking more questions. People on our chat will be asking questions too. We got a lot of them. We got it. But you're very right. Because people at that age, like they usually, well, when they grow up and when they were little, like, I'm going to be something. But then when they grow up and they see like, oh no, the world is not prepared. I'm not ready for that. Like, you don't even know, you haven't tried. You can try. Like, I studied science up until my last year in high school. It was physics, chemistry. I studied biology too, and maths. I was very good at maths, impressively. But then I'm in a degree about arts, about creating stuff, about telling a story. But you can just do whatever you like, even if you usually are not ready, not very good at it. I'm not good at drawing, but here I am. I'm very happy. She's good at drawing, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like that process.
Work so important. Okay. So we were talking about the importance of this academy. What does the California Academy of Science mean to San Francisco?
Oh, sorry, when did it?
What does the California Academy of Science mean to San Francisco?
Oh, what does it mean to San Francisco?
Yes.
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, I wish I could give like an incredible answer to that, because I've only been living in the San Francisco Bay Area for 5 years, but I feel like it's one of, I would say, if I can pretend like I'm a natural born San Franciscan, I would say that the Academy of Sciences is like, it's almost like a second home. I feel like it is kind of a building that that captures like the history of San Francisco, but also California California at large too, because we are a natural history museum, and a lot of the academy's history is tied in with like as California was being developed as a state and was becoming going through all of those changes in California's history, the academy was going along with it. I also think it's in a lot of ways like a symbol of like perseverance and resilience. So what I mean by that is, California, San Francisco specifically, is a city that is very prone to earthquakes. And so, in 167 years that the academy has been open, like every major event that has affected San Francisco has also affected the academy. And so I think a lot of people, especially people who have lived in San Francisco for a while, look to the academy as like a symbol of getting through all of the tough times. And so something like 100 or so years ago, there was a really bad earthquake in San Francisco, and a really bad fire that like just ruined so much of the city. And the original academy building was also part of that. And so, I'm sure if you were a San Franciscan around that time, you were looking at the academy and seeing like, how are you going to rebuild? And no matter what, like rain or shine, or earthquake or fire, the academy has been determined to be open and to rebuild and to come back to the people of San Francisco and California, and kind of continue to be that symbol of perseverance. Even right now with all of the closures because of COVID, the academy just reopened this past weekend after something like 6 or 7 months of being closed, and we were still determined. We were just like, I mean, imagine a museum when you make most of your income, out of ticket sales, and people can't come. The academy is determined, like, we will reopen, and we'll reopen in the safest and the best of ways. And we have a lot of people in San Francisco who supported us, a lot of our donors, a lot of our funders who supported us to help us get through, I mean, an unprecedented time of 7 months without a single visitor coming in.
Yeah.
So I think that really goes to show how important the academy is to California and to San Francisco specifically. So that was a really good question. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you to you. We will talk about later about COVID and what effects.
What happened? Well, I have some questions from the chat. First, well, we have a person in our program that is called Smith. I don't know if you watched the show Phineas and Ferb from Disney Channel. The doctor.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so the doctor is called Smith, so this person has the same name as the evil doctor from Phineas and Ferb. And he's asking about the 3D printer you have behind you.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could turn it the other way. The story behind the 3D printer is just that it's my husband's 3D printer. So I'm obviously still working from home because of COVID, and I share an office space with my husband, and so sometimes I try to crop it out of my just have my bookshelf in there, but I'm sorry, I wish there was a better story about the 3D printer and how it's connected to the academy. I'm surprised you can tell that it's a 3D printer.
We had one at school, when I'm back in high school, and well, he's the person that knows about that. And so yeah, we had it. Well, it broke, and now we have one modern. I don't know how to speak. Wait, a more modern one. So yeah, we can tell about it. That it is.
Well, I mean, I wish there was a better story behind it, but it just,
Is there?
It's just a 3D printer behind it. It's not mine. It's not the academy. It's not science action clubs, anything like that.
It's just.
But hey, it's a city with STEM, right?
It's science.
Yeah.
Oh, they're asking. Yeah, it is in San Francisco, California. California. How do you pronounce? Is California or California? I'm not very
it's
sure.
California.
California.
California Academy of Sciences.
Okay, California. I wasn't very sure because here in Spain we just call it California. Very Spanish, so it's different. The way we.
It sounds what you're saying too.
Yeah. And they're asking about the building of the California Academy of Science that is gorgeous and sustainable. Is it sustainable? How you say that? Then
Yeah.
I guess I guess it is. I'm just translating from Spanish to English, and my brain doesn't work today. So, can you tell a little bit about the building?
Yeah, definitely. And let me see if I can actually share a really good resource
Ooh.
about a lot of the ways in which the academy is. Let me. So if I share a link, will it get sent to everyone who's watching too?
Yeah, if you share the your screen, everyone will watch it. It's like they're exactly watching what we are watching in the call.
So for this part, I'll just send the link because there's a lot of ways in which the academy, the academy as a whole wants to sustain life and all of the different programs that we have to protect the universe. Sorry, to protect the planet. Specifically about the academy's building. So we actually have a roof called the living roof, and we call it that because part of what it does is it helps the building be more efficient. So, oh no, so we have a high-tech basement, and we have a beautiful green living roof, and what all of the things that the academy does, and it's kind of like a metaphor for how the way that we want to sustain the world as sustain the planet outside of the building. We try to do all of these similar things inside the planet too. So we have or inside the building as well. So we have a green building, meaning it's energy efficient. We try to reduce our carbon footprint and preserving natural resources within. We also try to use sustainable materials in making the building. So when you kind of look at the image of actual building, notice it's a lot of mixtures between different materials, and then we have this beautiful green living roof, which if you come to the building in person, you can go up there and there's a lot of nature up there. So it's kind of cool because when you're in the building, you're looking at nature, kind of a controlled environment, but then you go outside and you're just outside in San Francisco with all of its beautiful beautiful natural resources. So if you want to learn more about the building specifically and all of the materials used and how we do that, you can follow that link about sustainability in action, and it will give you a lot of really great information.
Ooh, that sounds so beautiful. I want to go there. I really want to go there.
Me too.
Let's cross fingers. I have enough money to go there. But nobody knows. Future will tell. So our next question is, we talked about the California Academy of Science. What does it do? But what do you work in inside the academy?
Yeah, sure. This is my favorite subject. So I specifically work as part of the Science Action Club. And the goal of the Science Action Club is to get, at the essence of it, is to get young people excited about our planet. And kind of, as I was saying earlier, bridge that gap between the elementary school and high school years where kids are losing confidence in their science ability, where they're deciding okay, I don't want to be a scientist, right? Or I don't want to, science is something that we just have to study and we're just going to get through it. But, science looks like a textbook, just like reading a textbook and being, memorizing things and just, giving tests and stuff like that. So that's one of our goals. And we specifically function in mostly the after school space. So for example, when the school day is done, maybe from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., there is a very long history in the United States of having programs for students during that time. For example, if you have parents who are working and they don't get off work until 5 or 6 p.m., right? They can't come pick you up from school. It's a very valuable time. Like you can go home and if you can go home and maybe there wouldn't be anyone to take care of you at home, or you might just spend spend that time doing something else. But so California and the United States has a very long history of providing programs for specifically that kind of audience. And so Science Action Club, we mostly work in that audience. We also function in libraries. A lot of libraries offer programs for the communities. And most recently, actually, we came out with a new product, and that is, you don't need to be, you don't need to be any particular, you don't need to be part of a school or a library or anything like that. That's kind of a resource that anyone from the ages, I think, of like 3rd grade to 5th grade, which is probably like 8 to 11, like anyone can print out that and just do it at home. And it's similar exercises to our, full program. So a lot of our activities, probably the coolest thing about our actual science activities, is that they're very, very, very hands-on. So this is not like read a textbook, memorize this, give a test. It's very much, go out into the world, go out into nature, and kind of take ownership over the fact that like this is your planet too, So whether that is so this is kind of where like our citizen science / like community science, both of those terms are kind of interchangeable these days. So that's kind of where this that comes in, which is that we want to encourage students to kind of step into their role. Like we all have a role as stewards of the planet to contribute to solving all of these global problems. And so the Academy has a beautiful, amazing citizen science program, and I'll share this link too if anyone wants to learn about all of our amazing programs. I'll highlight a few of them. So Science Action Club definitely falls into that. One of the things that we do at Science Action Club to encourage students to be part of, the part of this, what's the right phrase for it? Like, changing the world, like, fixing the world, right? Protecting the planet. Actually, that's one of the things we really want to get students passionate about. So we, some of the activities that we offer are kind of partnerships with other organizations too. So we have 3 programs so far in Science Action Club that are called Bug Safari, where you kind of go out, look for arthropods and look for small tiny pieces of nature. Bird Scouts, which is of course bird related, and Cloud Quest, and that is about weather conditions and specifically about clouds. And so all of these 3 are designed because you will find birds, clouds, and bugs anywhere. So you really don't need to be living in a specific part of the planet. You can be in California, you can be in Spain, right? Or you can be in Florida, or you can be in like any part of the world, and you will find bugs, birds, and clouds, right?
Definitely.
So one of the other programs that we have at the Academy, which we kind of like partner with them as well, is our iNaturalist. And so what the iNaturalist is, it's an app which is kind of a database of observations of nature. So for example, if you download the app, you can go anywhere and take a photo. So say you're out for a walk, right? And you see an interesting looking like pigeon maybe by the water, and you're like, wow, that's so interesting. I have no idea like what kind of pigeon that is. You can take a photo of it, and in the app it'll start giving you recommendations for, oh, is it this animal, is it that animal, is it this animal, is it that kind of pigeon, that kind of pigeon. You're like, whoa, I have no idea, but I want to know what kind of pigeon this is, right? Or what kind of, any kind of bird, what kind of, I've seen like little shiny insects that are just so tiny, and I'm like, what is this thing called?
What are you?
Yeah. And so what you do, you just take a photo of that and you upload it to the app, and then everybody else who's on that app, which is like millions of users, will help you like identify what this animal is. And so even though I am not a scientist and I don't know what this is, I can be part of helping kind of the professional scientists, as you can call them, like the trained scientists, learn about biodiversity. So, I'm living in a specific part of California, which is, I live about like 30 miles away from, 30 miles of kilometers away from San Francisco. So I'm living a little bit off to the side, right? What I see where I'm living is very different than what you'll see if you're actually in the heart of San Francisco. Or compared to, if I go and visit my parents, they're in Los Angeles, and that is a whole different environment than San Francisco. So everywhere I go, I have the power. I have like immense power in my in the palm of my hand to tell scientists like, hey, this is what I saw today, right? And that's really what we mean about taking taking ownership over like, you know, the all of the problems that we need to solve, you know, going forward in the next few generations. We can't do that if we just rely on the professional trained scientists. And you know, they also know that. You know, these even the Academy of scientists. If you go on our YouTube, we have a great video of an interview with our scientists talking about why we need citizen science, and they're saying like there's so much data we need before we
Yeah.
can really get a full picture of what is going on in the world. We need to know which birds are where at which time of the year, right? We need to know like how accurate are our weather predictions. Like, is it actually raining? Sometimes, you know, I'll look at my phone and it'll say there's raining, and I'm like, it's definitely not raining right now, right? So we have, you know, we have all different types of apps that we use to determine this type of information. And our scientists will tell you that, like, you know, we can't do all of this on our own. Like, we need the global, you know, population to really help us like take responsibility over like reporting the science, right? Reporting the data for us to get a full picture. And one of the coolest things about iNaturalist is that they actually have an annual challenge. It's called the City Nature Challenge. So that's a link that I shared. And that is like one day where they ask it's actually a week where they ask people, where they just ask everyone who wants to get out their phone, go out into the world, and just take as many photos. And you know, the barrier to entry for this is so small. You literally just need a phone, you know, or a tablet or whatever you can find that can capture photos and, you know, find a way to upload them onto the internet. That's all you need. You don't need a science degree. You don't need, you know, to believe that this is like your passion and this is going to be your career path. All you need is a phone. And like I was telling you, I didn't study science at all. Like my course of you know, my college courses were very humanities and arts and literature focused. Yet the fact, like, I find so much inspiration from the fact that I could just take out my phone, go out into the world, and say, hey, this is what I saw. Maybe this is important, maybe it's not, but hey, like, I put it out there, and maybe somebody out there is going to be like, this is the coolest thing ever. And
Wow.
through the City Nature Challenge, we've also had some really cool findings. So there have been actually, you know what? This might be a good time for me to share one of my favorite favorite findings. I can just share my screen. Go.
Yes.
Okay. So you should be able to see my presentation, correct?
Yeah. Oh, now we're watching just
so
Discord.
So this is the City Nature Challenge. What wild nature can you find in your own neighborhood?
I think you're just sharing Discord.
The photos.
Wait. I think you're just sharing Discord and nothing else. Just this app. We're not seeing anything.
Oh, you just see Discord?
Oh, you're just in Discord. Yes.
Oh, just
this.
Oh, I got it. Change me.
Yeah. Like the entire screen would be. Yeah. Wait. Oh. Yes.
It might let me. You're still just seeing my screen.
Did you go just share the whole screen, or if you open the?
Okay, let me try one more time. And if it does not work, we can try another way.
Oh, now we can see. Now we can see.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, now you can see?
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, great. I have no idea what I changed, what I did differently, but you can see it now. Can you still see it?
Oh! Oh my god, that is... Poor thing!
Okay. Now I can actually see it because you're having that reaction. So this is actually one of the really fun observations that we've gotten using the iNaturalist app. And this is a hawk dropping I think it's like an iguana or something like that. So spoiler alert, don't worry, the iguana, like, it hit the floor and it scudded away and it was totally fine. But the photographer, Alyssa, she uploaded this onto iNaturalist, and this is the type of thing that we would never have gotten this shot, right? Of a hog picking up, and this is nature in action. Unfortunately for that, this iguana or something. Unfortunately, this is nature in action, right? So this is one of the super cool photos of him. As a spoiler alert, don't worry, he's fine. I don't know if I would share this photo if I didn't know that he was fine at the end of this. So, and then this is another really cool observation. So this was an owl in New York City, and someone just took out the iNaturalist app and just snapped this photo. And I think this was actually like a hawk's nest that an owl had taken over, and this is like a baby owlet. Cute.
That is so cute. That is adorable. Oh my god.
So I love this example because it shows that that a scientist was not just going to be sitting by their desk and like looking for an owl like any given moment, but like if I happen to see an owl outside of the window like this, people should know that the scientists should know that hey, this can help identify like migrating patterns, all different types of things. Like I can't even begin to describe to you like how much, benefit can come from conversations like this, or from observations like this. That makes jobs to me.
Wow.
So iNaturalist is one of those apps. Really quickly, we also use Globe, Globe.government. This is also an international app to look at cloud conditions and to report cloud conditions. So for iNaturalist, we specifically use that for our bug safari unit. And then for our Cloud Quest unit, we use Globe. And then that also is a citizen science based app. So you can take, observations of literally weather conditions, right? Like, hey, it's like this cloudy, or this, this is the air quality here right now, right? That's also super important right now to know, like, how much it's, pollution affecting the environment. And the third one I will share is eBird, and this is also similarly to iNaturalist. It focused specifically on birds, and it just has a ton of information about what kind of birds you're seeing. So if anyone is a bird watcher or not a bird watcher and just happens to be out for a walk, they can, kind of identify and share different kinds of birds that they're seeing.
That is so cool. I actually have a forest right behind my house, so we have like a lot of hawks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of hawks, and both my cats go wild with that, and a lot of birds come around too.
Yeah.
Like, how many things are there? Because they're huge trees, so, and you can also hear a lot of birds. You're like, what is there?
Yeah.
Making so much noise, I want to sleep. Thank you. But yeah, it is like...
Something that's so cool about these apps is, just a bird or, a flower or a tree that you just see all the time, and you're just like, it's just a bird, it's just a flower, it's just a tree.
Yeah.
Once you identify it, you're like, whoa!
What
this
do I
is
have?
Like, this, yeah. I've had the tiniest of bugs before that I'm like, I stepped on you, but I don't step on you anymore. I'm going to be very careful that I won't step on you when I'm out for a walk, because you are, something.
That... Yeah, it is. It has happened.
Yes. Okay, now going for something more sad. We're talking now for sorry. Now for something more like sad. How did quarantine affect the California Academy of Science? The COVID-19.
Sure. Sure, yeah.
How did it affect it to sorry
Internet.
How did it affect quarantine to the California Academy of Science?
Yeah, sure. So it definitely had a pretty big impact on the academy. Like I mentioned, the academy, we do get a lot of our funding from ticket sales, and so of course when the quarantine, so in California the quarantine, stay-at-home orders, all of that stuff started right like earlier mid-March, and so immediately everyone was just told to go work from home, and then there were no visitors, and there were not any visitors from mid March to middle of October. And the academy did a really good job of trying to keep as many employees as it possibly could. At the academy, we did I think about 3 months into quarantine have a few layoffs, which were obviously that those were really tough to witness, and obviously if you were laid off, that was incredibly difficult. The academy did I think a pretty good job of getting trying to get funding from other places to kind of build up to kind of decrease like the amount of the impact that it would have. And we were determined from the beginning, like we will reopen, and we will reopen in the safest of ways. A lot of really interesting things came from quarantine. I think a lot of people will say that we had to think in ways that we never had to think in before, right? So for Science Action Club, something that meant is our main offering is a science kit, and that science kit is definitely from like at its base level, like we designed it to be an in-person, hands-on activity, right? So when quarantine started at Science Action Club, we kind of had to think about, well, this isn't really something that people are doing anymore, right? So what can we do with the amazing resources that we already have? And how can we kind of repurpose them and repackage them so that they will continue to bring people benefit? There's a lot of ways to do that. Some of the ideas we came up with is actually not even us, but some of the people who already have our clubs and our materials, they came up with some really great ideas for using the materials that they already had. So, for example, our kit materials include things like binoculars or magnifying glasses, or materials to make like make your own like spider web. There's a lot of materials that come in those kits. So one example is actually the Seattle Public Library in Washington. They were like, okay, we have all of these materials. Nobody's coming to the library for an in-person club. Yet there's still people who need access to STEM who are not getting it, especially people who are coming from like low-income backgrounds where maybe their schools are not even sending any like some schools here. Obviously, it's a weird time, so some schools have a very robust like, okay, this is what you're going to do when you're at home, and other schools just don't have the capacity to be like, hey, we kind of just don't know what you're going to do, and we need a little while to figure it out. So what the Seattle Public Library did was they actually took our kits and they divided them into like smaller individual kits, and then they went and they distributed those materials directly to families and directly to students who needed them in their community. And I thought that was just one of the coolest things, instead of just being like, well, I guess this box of incredible science tools is just gonna sit here for 8-9 months. They were like, no, we know that our community still needs these, and if they can't come in person, like if they can't come to us, we'll go to them, right? Perfect example. Something that Science Action Club did was we actually added a new product to our repertoire. So whereas before we offered the kits, and along with the kits, we also offer training for staff, and we also offer a lot of like instructional videos for how to do some of these activities. So something that we were like, okay, well, not everyone is going to be able to distribute the material. Some people will, some people won't. We actually designed our own workbooks, and those we call them SAC labs, and we basically repurposed a lot of the activities that we already had in like the kits program for just like, how can you do this at home with the minimal number of supplies? So what is something that everybody has at home? Color pencils, erasers, maybe some string. So we went through all of the activities that we have, and we're like, how can we adapt these so that anyone at home can print out this workbook and have hours of specifically self-guided learning, and that's really important to us because a lot of what we were hearing from parents was like they're trying to work from home while their while their kids are you know trying to do school from home, and sometimes it's too hard for some parents to be able to do that and also to be able to monitor. So we really wanted something that a student can pick it up, put it on their desk, read through the instructions, and be like, okay, I got this, right? Nothing dangerous, nothing like, like go outside all alone or anything like that, right? And also something that anyone, anywhere can do. So regardless of if you have like a beautiful garden in your backyard with lots of nature, or maybe you're living in, New York City and you have like one window or like a small balcony, like wherever you are, whatever resources you have available to you, these workbooks should be able to, continue to bridge that gap between like how can you still be a scientist, how can you still do science experiments. So I can put in the link for that in here.
Yeah.
And we have two different versions of those workbooks. So we have design focus, which is a lot of like, solving like solving creating like scientific models, and another one that's specifically focused on like observing nature.
That is so cool. So interesting.
Yes.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so
Thank you. Me too.
So we have also some questions from the chat that I've been missing a little bit. Wait, let me search for them. Other people telling me that my drawing is working perfectly. Thank you very much. I don't think so, but thank you for saying that. They shared also a photo of the California Academy of Science green roof. There's people that know about that. And they also asking, do you think we can try a science action club in our village? We live in a very small town, very far from a city, so do you think we can pull it off?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I really think so. So, like I said, all of our programs are designed such that anyone, anywhere. So, if you're wondering, can I do Science Action Club in my town? Do you have clouds? Do you see clouds every once in a while?
We
right?
only have clouds.
Yes.
Rain. We have rain.
Yeah. Like of course you have rain, and of course you have clouds, and of course, even if you don't have clouds, like you don't have to say, you don't have to look up and be like, oh, it's cloudy today. Even the fact that it's sunny, right?
Yeah.
Like in California, it's winter right now, and it's like 95 degrees. Or sorry, it's not winter, it's fall. My bad. In October, it's like 95 degrees here, right? That means something. It's not always 95 degrees in California. So, I would ask you, like, do you have birds?
Yeah, we
Of
do.
course you have birds.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Do you have bugs? Of course you have bugs. And that's just the coolest thing about Science Action Club. Like, you don't need to have, you don't need to live in a specific part of the world. You don't need to have a specific kind of environment around you. Everybody's information, everybody's input, everyone's experiments, everyone's data matters. And so I would say yes for that reason. Like, definitely, like, all of the activities will be relevant to you. Another thing that Science Action Club does, which is really important to me, is we try to make sure that it's affordable to everybody. So you really don't need to have, like, you don't need to be part of a massive, private school, or have a lot of funding. Any kind of, we do our best to meet the programs where they're at. So we have kind of a cool, like, pay as you can, like pay what you're able to program, where we take a pay what you can, or like an honor system type of pay scale, in the sense that we look at how much is your total operating cost, right? Like how much funding does your program have? And then from there, we have a scale that says, like, okay, if you have like this much funding, this is how much the kits will cost you. If you have this much, this is how much it will cost you. And we try our best not to turn anyone away. We try our best not to be like, if you can't afford it, like, too bad. Like, that's not what we're about. Especially in California, we try our best to cater specifically to an audience of students who aren't getting this really high quality, award-winning STEM education in their schools. And some kids are. Some students already are getting that, because they go to amazing, incredible schools, and that's really great for them. So maybe they don't need Science Action Club because they already have a program like that. A ton of schools don't have, that kind of program. So we really, really, really try to make sure that we are reaching out to those students who otherwise, if they didn't have something like this, might just be like, well, I guess science isn't accessible to me because, I can't do these experiments. And, everyone who I'm going to be, I guess my peers who went to like better schools or who have like more funding, they're going to go on and be the scientists and like change the world. We want to break that mindset and say, no, anyone, anywhere can be a scientist. So I hope that is a very, very, very big yes, yes, yes. You can, if you want Science Action Club, we encourage you to reach out to us and to, I'm sure we can find a way to bring Science Action Club to you.
So in the chat, we can do it. I'm waiting for it. Even though I'm in university already, I can still work at high school. Please. Okay, well, they're asking if there are other science action clubs in the States or any other part of the world. Do you know about that?
Yeah, so we have hundreds of science action clubs. So our science action clubs look like after school programs. And so, so each club would be like, say, if I go to, California Middle School, if the middle school calls California Middle School, that school will have one science action club at their school. Then you can go down the street and there'll be a library, right? Say like San Francisco Library. San Francisco Library will have its own science action club. So that's like, in the same area, we already have 2 science action clubs. So you can have, you can have as many science action clubs as you want in as many places as you want. And we have, I think we have hundreds all over the United States. And now we're officially in Spain too, which we're really happy about. And, it just goes to show like anyone, anywhere can benefit from Science Action Club and the resources that we offer.
That's great. And here we actually have one of the people who's got a Science Action Club here in Spain that asked, "Hi Saba, I work in Domo Science Center." It's my mom, by the way. She's the one that has a museum. And we're going to have a Science Action Club in the museum. I think it's the first one in Europe, she says. Is it the first one in Europe, actually? Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, thank you very much. Because now we're very happy to be able to say that we're global because we always thought, we always imagined that we could be, outside of the United States. And I hope the club is going well. And I'd love to hear what your experience has been with Science Action Club.
Alaska, because actually we live in a very, very small city. We live in the town, and there's a very small city next to us, and people will usually think that it will start everything in Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, because they're the bigger cities. Here nobody knows Coruña. But I'm very happy they started in a very small place, we all know each other almost. So
that sounds so nice.
It is. So they're saying congratulations to the Domus, the science center we have in here, and there's some other photos before what happened to the iguana. Poor iguana that was falling off.
Oh yeah, don't worry. The iguana was okay. So I think the information that I have is the iguana, it hit the floor, but it survived and it just scudded away and it got away this time. So lucky day for the iguana.
So we're moving to one of our last questions. Is that we've been told that you have activities at night in the museum or before quarantine. So can you tell a little bit more about those activities?
Activities at nighttime?
Yeah, I don't know. Really, I've heard of it.
So we have a few different things at the museum. So we have a program called let me make sure I'm getting this right. Nightlife. Sorry, I was so easy to remember. A nightlife program, and that one is every Thursday night, and it's an opportunity for people to come to the academy again at nighttime and be part of different hands-on activities. So, for example, it's it's kind of like bringing in like science, music, and art. And I think, if you go to our Facebook, so the nightlife program is actually something that when the academy is open in person, it's actually a paid ticketed program. So you would have to pay money, buy a ticket, everything. Over quarantine, we've actually moved that to be a free program that's online, and you can actually access like all of the program. The entire program is live streamed. So if you're interested in getting an idea of what nightlife looks like, I can send the link to our Facebook page, and you can literally see like dozens, like maybe 6 months of like a weekly nightlife program, and kind of get an idea of what that looks like. So I started working at the academy right before the quarantine started, so I never actually had the opportunity to go to one of the nightlives in person. I was only at the academy for about 2 weeks before they said, okay, go work from home.
Yay!
So I wish I could tell you more about what it feels like to be there, but I imagine it should be magical. But
It must
I've
be.
also been watching the nightlife, the virtual ones, to really get an idea of what it looks like. And we also have some cool sleepover events where you can come to the museum and like spend the night with what is it? With I think
cool.
I think it's penguins and
That's so cute.
other animals. I know there's specifically one that's we have like a really nice penguin exhibit, and you can kind of like spend a night with the penguins. And
Oh my
want
god.
that. I want
yeah, and like
that.
have breakfast at the academy next day, which is like super cool. These are all things that like I can't wait until I can go to the academy and experience them for myself.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I
And I hope
actually,
everybody watching
I
gets
wish
to.
I could go. Oh my god.
Nina,
Yeah,
just can't.
I hope so too.
I cannot hear you.
Sorry?
I completely lost you. Can you say it again?
Sorry?
Nina?
Now you can.
A little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello? Okay. Okay. I didn't say anything.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry.
Sweet. There was a thing around the chat. I remember a few years ago, open doors during the evening, even a party with music, but with headphones for not disturbing. I think it was an event there. Here, it's someone that has been actually in the California Academy of Science, and he told me there was this party when everyone had headphones with the music playing, but it didn't disturb anyone. And that sounds so good.
Yeah. Though I've heard of those happening. I think I may have seen pictures of that happening at the academy. I think it's also it's happening a little bit more these days. That, like, I guess I don't probably call it like a silent party or something like that. Everyone's in the room and like everyone just has like not like noise canceling headphones, but yeah, I guess I haven't been to one of those at the academy, so I don't know what they specifically did that for, but I've seen that people are having events.
Great. He's back. He want to. Next question for him. How does it feel to be a bird?
How does it? Yeah, actually, sometimes I think, oh, a bird observation, but no, you're not allowed to do your own pets.
Oh,
and
that's.
you can't take a photo of your cat and be like, it's
Wild
a
cat.
domestic cat. Like, oh my gosh, where did this cat come from? Like, that doesn't count as a wild. So
That's
he's
sad.
not a wild bird.
That'll be lovely though. So, do you have any activities more you can tell us about?
Sure. We can do one of the activities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
You can see also only Discord again.
Only this one. What did I do differently last time? I think I just tried doing it over and over and over again, and somehow it worked.
If you go to screens,
Okay.
entire screen, and go live. Yeah.
Does this work?
Yeah. Was perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So this is one of the activities that we have as part of our Science Action Club I think this is the Bird Scouts, one of the Bird Scouts activities. And so this is a good example of something where we really encourage students to like build off of the information that they already have about the world and about nature. So one of the activities here is spot the differences. So in this one, like, what are some of the, if we do this activity together, what are some of the differences that people are seeing in the northern flicker and the red-bellied woodpecker?
Mm-hmm. Like the beak, the colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe if people want to type it in, I don't know the best way. I actually can't see people's comments, so I don't know what people are saying.
Oh, there's someone going to leave. So everyone, if you can, tell us in the chat, what are you seeing? The person who's going to study, go to study. School is important. But you can tell us in the chat, what can you see? What is the difference? If you want to. Oh, we'll have Whaley will me while they write.
No problem.
Oh. I'm going to take... Yeah, the colors, they're very different, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Even kind of the size of the beak, too, is a little bit different. If I was... Sorry?
Even the head shape is a little bit different.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like a
spots on the chest, they're saying. Also.
Yep.
And
the tail.
Spots.
This one has much longer.
Yeah.
Down, right? And like this almost looks like a coat, like a coat of feathers.
Yeah.
This is very different too. Another thing that is there anything coming out? Anything else coming in the chat?
There's in spots, the tail, the head, also.
Yeah.
And the wings pattern, also.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Another thing that we try to look at too is not the animal itself, but also the environment that it's in. And so you can see that these two birds actually prefer different types of trees. So one of these prefers like these it almost looks like a maple leaf or something like that. Whereas this is like, I don't even know what kind of leaf to call this, but the branches and the homes and the environments that they find are very different too. So I really, ever since I was a kid, I love spot the differences activities. So I really like these ones because, if I was out for a nature, I was just out for a walk, like if I saw these two birds, like, if I was like, one place I saw one bird, another place I saw the other bird, I might automatically think, oh, it's the same bird, right? And I may not take off my iNaturalist app and I'll be like, oh, it's just the same bird that I see every day. But, say I saw these two, they're actually very different birds. And instead of, I know I would just assume that they're the same, but this is, one of the reasons why, especially if you're in a place that has a lot of biodiversity, take out that phone, take out that, camera, whatever you have. And it doesn't even have to be a phone. It can literally just be your camera, and then you can upload the photos using the iNaturalist website too, or eBird, and let us know what you're finding, because these are very different birds that, if you see them both in the same area, like that could tell us something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
About the environments that they prefer.
Absolutely. Oh, that is so cute also. So, I think we're reaching the end of the interview. Thank you so much for coming. Even with the difference, with the time difference, it would be great. It was great. Very interesting. I loved it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for obviously making the time. Thank you for everyone who tuned in and for your questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone does want to reach out to Science Action Club, I can put in our email in the chat. Or sorry, maybe this is not the chat. I don't know.
You can you tell me, and then I put it all in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just share it up. I say thank you in the chat too for coming. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. And that email is scienceactionclub@calacademy.org. Reach out to us if you have any questions. There's a few different links that I put in here about, like, if you want to find more information about, what our about the academy, because I can see that you have a lot of really good questions about the academy too, and about Science Action Club if you have questions about starting a club in your area, or even if you don't, maybe you can't start a club right now, but you want to get your hands on the workbooks that we've created, the labs, and if you want to print those out at home and engage with, kind of get like a good idea of what our activities kind of look like. All of that information is there.
We'll be there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So,
Alright,
I'll
thank you so
see
much.
you.
Have a
Bye
good day.
bye.
Bye.
Ha sido increíble. Básicamente, es lo único que tengo que decir. Es increíble.
Ha sido maravilloso, sinceramente.
Súper interesante.
Better than I expected.
Way better. Y la verdad es que no me esperaba. Yo pensaba que era simplemente una asociación. Ahora ya no sé hablar en español. Una asociación que tenía la parte de los clubes y la parte de la ciencia ciudadana, pero no sabía que era un museo tan grande. Es como coger todos los museos de economía y meterlos en uno y aún así añadirle cosas.
Sí.
¿Qué tan grande tiene que ser eso? Es
Qué
un Marineda
emocionante.
City. En museo.
Todos los proyectos,
Sí.
todo lo que hacen, increíble.
Que-
Muy
ya
interesante,
sabemos.
la verdad.
Si algún día nos pasamos por Estados Unidos, hay que ir a California, hay que visitarlos. A decir,
Sí.
hello, te vi en esta entrevista. Ahí estamos, o fui yo la que te entrevistó. ¿Qué tal? Pero sí, ha estado genial. Sí, que
Sí,
bueno,
ha estado muy
hemos
bien.
llegado al final del programa. Se me ha pasado volando. Y
Sí,
me ha
a mí
salido más
también,
fluido de lo
a
que
mí también.
pensaba. Tenía miedo de trabarme mucho más en inglés. Tú también lo has hecho genial. Muy buen trabajo.
Gracias.
Good job. Vamos a aplaudirnos. Que lo echo de menos. Pasaré todos los links que nos pasó ella cuando ponga los créditos, porque así no hago mucho lío de cambios de pantalla, para que podáis acceder a ellos. Ay, perdón. Después, cuando lo subamos a YouTube, también pondré todo en la descripción. O lo pondré yo, lo pondrá Ana, quien sea que se encargue de este vídeo, para que podáis preguntarles, ver no me sale, las páginas web que he pasado y informaros, incluso participar en alguna de las actividades que tienen, porque tienen pintaza, en serio.
Sí,
Debe estar genial.
Sin duda es algo muy genial. Sí.
Me están pidiendo ya que cerramos el programa con claqueta. Nos estás echando. Todo nos está echando. Dice que cerramos el programa con claqueta. Espera un momento. Pasamos. No nos quieren. Ya lo sabemos. Gracias.
Vaya.
¿Queréis a Ana? Vale. Os la devolvemos después. Bravísimo, girls. Gracias, gente maja. Eso está. Pues bueno, tendremos muchas nuevas actividades. Ana y a mí nos vais a ver un poco menos porque ya no estamos tan libres como antes. Las dos hemos empezado ya la universidad y hay trabajo que hacer. Así que os seguiréis viendo posiblemente 1 o 2 veces al mes, pero no solo nos veréis a nosotras. Habrá más cosas. Así que estaros atentos a las redes, estaros atentos a cualquier cosa que pase, porque va a estar interesante.
Importante.
Os
lo prometemos.
Comenta Viñas, muy bien, nuestras profes de inglés están enviando cosas por privado. Gracias. Well done, gracias. Así que bueno, hasta aquí. Nina, ¿tienes algo que comentar? ¿Algo más que añadir?
No, un gran programa, la verdad estoy muy contenta. He aprendido muchísimo y
Sí.
yo creo que eso es lo importante. Yo creo que los espectadores también, así que...
Estaremos atentos,
Sobre.
muy bien. ¿Claqueta? ¿Claqueta?
Claqueta.
A ver qué tan terrible
A ver cómo
sale
sale.
esta vez. Venga. Oh, además lo dijo yo. Me siento orgullosa.
Ya.
3, 2, 1. Claqueta.